All right, we got a new arena deal. Mission accomplished, we did it. Wait, what? Details haven't been released yet? It's only a tentative verbal agreement with $330 million from the provincial government. Might be contingent on who wins the next provincial election. For pretty much my whole life, I've been involved in hockey. From minor and junior hockey, officiating, heck, I even drove a Zamboni and made ice for a few years. And I still play the game to this day. I worked video production for Hockey Canada for a few years, including the 2010 Vancouver Olympics, and then was manager of video production for the Edmonton Oilers for 5 seasons. When I helped document the construction of Rogers Place in Edmonton, I developed a fascination on how these buildings come together. I visited 34 NHL rinks, and after my time in the NHL, I decided to start this YouTube channel to share with you all that I've learned about them. Who knows, you may just learn something new before you head to your next hockey game. I'm Jeff Nash, and this is Rinks Around the League. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been a while, but with the recent news out of Calgary, I just had to jump on and give you folks an update on the ever-growing saga that is the new Calgary Arena deal. Now, with the announcement of the most recent agreement, I thought about rushing out to put this video up right away. But after letting the story breathe a little bit, it's forced me to look into a few things, which I think will interest many people in Calgary who have opinions about this deal, good or bad. I'm going to go into some details, but before I do, if you want to watch a video that will give you all the background behind the previous arena deals, make sure to check out my Calgary Arena Saga video. I'll link it down below. Now to start, I must stress that Calgary is in need of a new arena. I don't think anyone is debating that. The Saddledome is quite literally falling apart. That being said, the newest chapter in the Calgary Arena saga that is coming together has many people scratching their heads and asking a lot of questions. Okay, let's break down the latest deal. If you thought this deal was going to be the same as all the others, like most of us thought, well, think again. On April 25th, 2023, Calgary Mayor Yodi Gondek held a press conference at the future site of Calgary's new arena along with Premier Daniel Smith and John Bean, President and CEO of Calgary Sports and Entertainment Corp. They came together to announce the newest deal estimated at $1.233 billion. What has the internet and Calgary citizens and Flame fans absolutely buzzing is the new major partner in this arena deal, the provincial government. The current cost breakdown looks like this. CSEC putting in $356 million, City of Calgary putting in $537.3 million, and the provincial government throwing in $330 million. People following this story will be quick to point out the increased cost and scope of this project. A quick rewind to 2016 will remind Calgarians of the Calgary Next project, which was going to cost $1.8 billion. And that plan included an entire football stadium. This project was a tough sell to Calgarians that eventually got shelved. Another quick reminder of the most recent 2019 deal saw the arena costing around $550 million, with the city and CSEC splitting the costs at 50-50, with any cost overruns going to be covered by CSEC. This last detail was pivotal because there would be cost overruns, and CSEC was not happy about it. How much cost overruns? Updated figures showed the arena project updated to cost $608 million, nearly $58 million over budget. The city and CSEC each agreed to contribute another $12.5 million to keep the project afloat. However, after costs for climate mitigation such as solar panels and right-of-way issues for road and sidewalks totaling $16.1 million were added to the final total, the city asked CSEC to contribute $9.7 million of that amount, in addition to what had already been agreed upon. Well, CSC didn't like that and walked away from the agreement. Fast forward to the newest iteration of the arena project, and it's now $1.233 billion, with CSCC paying 40% of that total budget, that being $356 million. Why is this so expensive? There are expanded elements, including a new community rink, like they have in Edmonton attached to Rogers Place, and a new outdoor gathering space. Provincial dollars are largely going to the community rink and surrounding infrastructure. Some people defend this investment of public dollars, saying that it's not going directly to the arena, but any money being spent on any aspect of this project will greatly benefit the arena and its stakeholders. The reason why this is such a hot topic right now isn't that the city, CSEC, and the province announced this deal. In fact, if you look back to the 1980s, the federal, provincial, and municipal governments all pitched in money to help build the Saddledome. The city and the province kicking in $31.5 million, and the federal government kicking in $29.7 million. However, these payments were part of a larger plan to attract the 1988 Olympic Winter Games at that time. Now, what does make this a hot topic in Calgary is the timing of this announcement. Alberta is heading into a provincial election at the end of May. Calgary is being considered a key battleground of this election, And the timing and tone of this election comes across extremely political. In a 9-page document they released last week, I'll link it down below, but I want to draw attention to some very interesting points. Now, if you look through the details, this deal is a non-binding term sheet and an MOU, meaning that any party can walk away at any time. Provincial dollars still have to be approved by Cabinet and the Treasury Board. This obviously will hinge largely on the results of the provincial election. The overall lack of details, most arena deal announcements detail how the city will recover costs of projects like this, how big the arena is capacity-wise, naming rights, revenue splitting, ticket surcharges. In last week's press conference Q&A, a lot of fundamental questions, including timelines, were met with, we don't know yet. Details to come. In fact, on the final page of this document, it lists 10 attachments that could answer all of these questions, including the formal presentation, the event center financial framework. But guess what? Quote, the remaining attachments must be kept confidential because negotiations are still underway between the 4 parties to reach the final signed deal. So in other words, after the election. Now, the last detail I want to point out is this included line, the project is an integral piece of the Rivers District Master Plan, which will assist with accelerating redevelopment in the area. I want to spend a little time with this last part because I think it reveals some interesting figures. If you go to calgarymlc.ca, they published a report dated January 25th, 2019 by Ernst & Young LLP. In this report, they outline the entire cost and scope of the River District, which includes the land associated with the new arena project. They outline 3 key infrastructure projects that include expansion of the Arts Commons, expansion of the BMO Center, and the new event center or arena. The 2019 report also goes into detail about street underpasses, access to LRT stations, and supporting infrastructure. Why am I bringing this all up? Because this report pegs the cost of the new event center at $547 million, which is pretty close to that 2019 arena deal that wound up being $608 million. This report is based on 27 financials, pegs the whole entire River District revitalization project at $1.37 billion. Now, why do I find this interesting? Because in many of the previous arena deals, there was always details regarding surrounding infrastructure, but it was never rolled out in the total cost to the arena project itself. As far as the public knows, the only real addition to the newest arena proposal is a community ring. According to this MLC report, they've always planned on having an outdoor gathering space and surrounding infrastructure. If you look at the scope of most of these line items, you can argue that the $1.233 billion price tag for everything, including the underpasses, the LRT stations, the community rink, inflation costs, etc., could come across as economically realistic. But my question to that is, why weren't these figures included in the sticker prices in previous arena announcements presented to the public? Let's also look more closely at the most recent announcement. It does seem odd to have a formal press conference basically proclaiming mission accomplished before all details are even signed off on. It should also be noted that the MLC report also included case studies of similar events centers, including Edmonton's Ice District. It pegs the cost of Ice District at $2.5 billion. And how much provincial dollars were given to the Ice District construction? As far as I can research, $0. Although on Twitter, Oilers Entertainment Group entered the political game by tweeting this doozy. We congratulate the City of Calgary, Calgary Sports and Entertainment Corp, and the Government of Alberta for reaching an agreement to build an event center and surrounding entertainment district in Calgary. Ice District has fundamentally transformed northern and central Alberta, creating a gathering place for all Alberta in the heart of Edmonton, and brought in billions of dollars of investment and economic impact. As our work continues to revitalize the downtown core of Alberta's capital through the completion of Ice District, we look forward to working with the Government of Alberta to identify opportunities for similar investment and support to ensure its continued success. Woo! This latest announcement also caught the attention of another city trying to build an NHL arena. Tempe in Arizona will have a vote in May to decide whether they go ahead with their entertainment district to house the Arizona Coyotes. And wouldn't you know, one of their main arguments for voting in favor for this development involves this tweet showing the amount of tax dollars being used on their development at $0, right beside an image of the Flames' new rink with $844 billion in taxes to Calgary residents. Not really a great look for this newest proposal. Now, just a reminder, I'm for Calgary getting a new arena. What I'm not for is using massive amounts of public dollars to fund a project of this size. Nearly 2/3 of this project is fronted by the taxpayers. The previous proposals may not be favorable for CSCC. They may not have liked it. However, they are the ones that stand to gain the most from this deal through the event center itself and unknown real estate deals surrounding the event center. Maybe they should be the ones to shoulder much of this financial risk. Hey, that's just my opinion, but now I pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts on the newest chapter of the Arena Saga? Are you for or against it? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, that's it for me. Reminder to follow me on social at _the_rinks on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And if you like this video, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Stay tuned, we'll see what happens in June. See you next time. Thanks for watching.